Ryan, yesterday Lance talked a bit about the 9.5 minute drive at the end of the game. Just looking back on that, I guess what was your perspective on that series and not being able to get off the field?
Yeah, well, I'd say on that particular drive, we had numerous opportunities to get off the field. We didn't really help ourselves out either by just not making plays that we should, and missing some tackles. I think we missed 6 tackles in that drive. So there's just a lot of reasons why anything like that happens. And if we're at our best, it's probably a 3 and out. That's what it should have been. So. But then we had more chances, and that's something that's quite honestly it's happened the last couple of games that we've had. So something we obviously need to keep addressing with our guys, and I don't think it has anything to do with letting off the gas or not playing as hard, or sometimes it's almost trying too hard to do something. So but we know we got to finish stronger, and we got to respond better in some of those situations, and it's that close, but you're that far away too at the same time.
Through non-conference play, has any aspect of the defense surprised you or been better than you expected?
I think we've responded good to situations that have come up in the game for the most part. I think our red zone defense is significantly improved, and just in terms of keeping teams out of the end zone. So I like that part. Our third down play has been better, and now there's been some key third downs that obviously haven't, but in some of those areas that we were really below the standard at last year, we've certainly picked up the pace. I'm quite honestly, I think we're doing a good job for the most part of run defense. Quarterback got away from us a little last game, but probably 2/3 of his yards are after we've missed him. So it's not that we're not defending, it's we gotta finish some of that stuff better. So, and then quite honestly, I feel like we haven't got a lot of turnovers, but our pass defense has been pretty solid. We've defended a lot of passes pretty well, a lot of pass concepts pretty well, but we haven't. Disappointment things would be finishing in the fourth quarter, and quite honestly, our turnover production isn't what it needs to be. We're way behind in that category.
Is there something that can be done to force more turnovers? Is that something that can be controlled?
Yeah, sometimes, but quite honestly, a lot of it's just the opportunities are there. You got to make good. There's a fumble on the ground. We need to recover. We do work on fumble recoveries, and there's techniques involved and things you want to do, which we didn't do any of those when it counted in the last game. So, but as I always say, to me, most of the time your turnovers happen when you speed an offense up. You make them make decisions before they're ready, and they're going to make some bad decisions and throw you the ball sometimes, or put the ball on the ground. So we've sometimes turnovers happen, sometimes they don't. I don't think we've been fully taking advantage of all the opportunities we've had.
You mentioned people even trying too hard in some cases, and the idea of guys pressing has come up a couple times over the last couple weeks. Just how do you deal with it when you see your players doing that while also still wanting them to put in as much effort as possible?
You can't play with clenched fists, and so we just got to be able to. You got to have confidence, but you've got to let the game flow as well, and so that's it. We have expectations of ourselves, but you can't just force things to happen all the time. I felt like on the fumble, like on that last drive, we missed it once, we missed it twice, and literally we've got about a half dozen guys right on around the ball, and every one of our guys knock each other off the ball, and it ends up bouncing to one of their guys who's standing there. So I can't fault guys' effort. We just can't press so hard all the time. That's it. And I guess the answer is just to play confidently, play fast, and again, make the plays that you should. Don't feel like you got to make every play that's out there every time.
Right. What do you see from West Virginia, and then are they similar to anybody you've played this year?
They're in some ways they're similar to most of the teams we played this year. They're doing similar things. I feel like West Virginia's got a really good offense. I think they return 8 starters. They've got a lot of experience returning. Their offensive line looks pretty salty, with some really high-end players. Quarterback is very nifty, kind of, I don't know, point guardish. You know what I mean? Where he's able to make the plays they want him to, but then he can also create some situations and make plays that way, just with his feet and quickness and things. So, and I think they've got a good 1-2 combination in the backfield. A guy that's kind of faster, a little smaller, faster, and then a big back. So, and the receivers they're all capable. So and they've got a 6'7" tight end. That's a really good pass receiving tight end. So I don't know where their weaknesses necessarily are. They're really balanced, run, pass, score a fair amount of points. So we can't go there and stumble around, or they're a team we're not going to beat them. We gotta be at our best and playing our best defense, and quite honestly as a team, or it's going to be real tough to win.
Does it help when you play a mobile quarterback that can run, like in back-to-back weeks? And you mentioned some of those like coaching points. Does that help?
Yeah, I think it has. We've carried over a couple things that we probably did last week, or even stumbled into last week some. We've carried some of those things over, and certainly after last week, a mobile running quarterback, if it didn't have our full attention, it does now. And our guys watch film; they see what the guy from West Virginia is going to do or can do. So we're pretty dialed into it, and I know that we can't let the guy get away from us that way, or it opens up everything for him when that happens and puts you at a real disadvantage.
Tommy and Caleb started at defensive tackle on Friday. Just what do you think of their showing in that game and the potential for them going forward?
Yeah, I think they're both good. Again, Tommy Dunn's been one of our defensive players of the week for the last couple of weeks. He's played really well. He's practicing well. He's really taken to to some of the details of coaching and the way they're supposed to be done, and he's doing it. He's a big dude. He's extremely strong. He's quick, good athlete, and so again, he's really leveled out his game. And as I would say, for guys, we want guys to consistently play at a high level and occasionally be great. That'd be awesome, right? We can't have had the highs and the lows, and Tommy was kind of a high and low guy in his past, and he's really playing consistently well now. And then he shows up and makes some great plays. So him and Caleb are doing a good job. DJ Withers is doing a good job. Blake Harreld's doing a good job. Keenan Caldwell's, he's got a certain type of a role for us, and he's really doing well in the role that we have. Particularly some of our short yardage calls, he's doing a really good job. So I'm happy with those guys. There's not a position really not happy with. If we just finish games, I'll be happier.
If Jason keeps missing time, and just who do you expect to rely upon if that happens?
Well, like I said, last game it was Alex Wright stepped in there and played. So I know there's other guys. Tywan Berryhill can really play any of our linebacker spots, so he gets reps at that position as well. And so, like I said, I feel for Alex Wright, that's his first real time that he's played significant game reps, and for the most part did a really good job. So played solidly, and we're not asking him to do things outside of what his capabilities are. He plays in certain personnel packages, he doesn't in others. So I think it's working out well for him, because it keeps him in his niche.
We talked last week about Marvin having a good game against Illinois. The snaps went down a little bit. What contributed that?
Well, again, for the most part, it has to do with who the offense has in the game. So there are personnel packages that we have that if they're in that personnel group, guys play. If they're not, they don't. So it just happened to really be one of those games where they were enough in another personnel group that where he was off the field. So Marvin's doing a good job. It doesn't his diminish of reps last week has nothing to do with anything else other than really that. And so yeah, he's one of our best players. I know he needs to get on the field. He's a good producer when he's out there. So not just talking about Marv, I'm just talking about anybody. It's a competitive atmosphere, and guys that, you know, produce, guys that practice well, guys that earn, you know, play. So he's one of those guys, but there's other guys back there as well that have earned some playing time. So so it's kind of a fluid situation, but there was nothing other than specifically to that, other than when they were in a certain personnel group, he wasn't in, and they happened to be in that personnel group probably more than most teams. So.
Anything else, Coach Borland?